your strike over on that opposite side. Copy.
What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here, and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the first video of 2022, and the discussion that we're going to have is 10 tips, 10 total things that I, as an experienced player, professional player, whatever you guys want to label me as, would suggest for you guys, maybe some of the more inexperienced or newer players to the Airsoft community. Welcome. These are going to be some tips and tricks that I would suggest to you guys just getting into the hobby. Another quick announcement is this coming Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month, is going to be a live stream that we have on the YouTube channel from the Airsoft Arena, featuring the owner of the Airsoft Arena, Carl. He and I will have open discussions with some of you guys, answer some of the questions you have, or otherwise just make general announcements and then just bullshit back and forth of things within Airsoft or things not in Airsoft. So if you guys want to mark that down on the calendar, we do start that on noon, first Wednesday of every month on YouTube. So you can look forward to checking that out if you're interested. But let's get into the 10 things. So number one, and again, no particular order, is going to be shop locally. It's been talked about time and time again. It has been kind of ingrained from the corporations, these businesses, of shop local, support your local businesses. And that is especially important within Airsoft. The local fields and the local businesses are dependent on you as the Airsoft player in order to help support them by providing service. So the Airsoft local field or store is going to have the same exact products that online retailers are going to have. There may be some very specific new products or very limited products that certain online retailers will have available that the local company will have or won't have. But things such as like the wall that I have behind me, the LBX gear that I'm wearing, those are not exclusive to online retailers. So support your local retailers, not even specifically Airsoft. When it comes to like the cool tactical boots, kind of like what I got on here, I'll go to my local foot store, Dunham's, Dick's, whatever, and I'll get my nice branded boots from there. That way, if anything does happen, it is much easier. It is so much easier. And guys, you can shout down in the comment section below if you agree with me, but it is so much easier to go to your local store in order to do some type of exchange or warranty work than it is to receive the product, figure out there's something broken with it, and trying to send that back. Especially with those Airsoft online retailers with broken guns. That is a huge hassle. And we do see that very often here at this specific location, where people will purchase a product from online, come in when they realize it's broken, want us to fix it, or they want us to warranty it. They want us to warranty the product that they had purchased from someone else, especially if it's something that we don't have. So yeah, people are kind of silly. So shop local, support local, and then if anything does happen, it's way easier to go about that way. Number two is research. Do the research. If you are interested in a product as a beginner base player, like I totally understand, it's a new thing, you're super excited, you want to get your hands on it immediately. It's so easy just to put in the card information and click buy now, but it is so vital that you do the research on the product, and not just a single video telling you it's a good product. Actually look around to other people's videos, have a width of research available to you. And another thing is, don't be a fool kind of by the thumbnail. If you're searching for a product, I'm just going to use the KWA T10 as an example. If you search KWA T10, because I know it's a phenomenal product and everyone asks me questions about it, don't just watch my videos and watch my experience and my opinion of it. Go to other videos and other channels on the KWA T10. Maybe a video that has more views that may look like it's from another retailer, or maybe a video with lower views that a local player or even just a player somewhere else may have their review on that KWA T10 as well, and get a width as far as information as to what different people and what the different players are, gaining from this product. As a Milsim player, do they find it has these attributes that they really like? If it's a indoor speeds off player, maybe there's some things that they noticed and will make note of. So having that width of research in order to help support your decision is the best thing for you. Because, and again, we will have local players purchase products online. It is a product and brand that we know has a large failure rate, and they will bring it into us. They want us to fix it, and it's just like, no, just go get it warranted, get your money back, get something else. And I've had it multiple times where customers have come into the store, asked me specifically about X product. I told them X product is bad. Do not purchase X product for these reasons, A, B, C. And then they would still purchase the product, and they will bring it in, say that X product is broken, and then it's like, okay, you can pay me to fix X product, or better yet, send it back and put the money towards the product that I suggested that is like X, but is from a different brand, which is product Y. Because I know product Y is a much better system because I've either used it or we have seen an abundance of players use it successfully. So there's a reason, again, as to why you should support local, because we know what's going on in the industry. Tip number 3, watch videos kind of from a new perspective. There are gameplay channels and review channels similar to this that will be sponsored, or in the case of gameplay, they'll do a very good job showcasing an event. And both of those types of videos can be very, very, very misleading. In the case of a product review video, they may showcase it as a phenomenal product. Like it is the end all be all product. And when I was a younger player, a beginner player, I did get suckered into those videos as well, purchase product and learn from my mistakes, but I was able to reapproach those types of videos from a new perspective of like, okay, I like this product, but maybe let's do some research behind the brand and different qualities and aspects of that product. And that kind of got me to where I am right now in this space. So in the case of gameplay as well, there are a lot of really, 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 really good gameplay channels. I'm not going to list myself among them because I still don't have the experience in order to take an 8 or 10 hour day and mix it into a 6 to 15 minute video that is just action packed and phenomenal and is, attention holding. Case in point, the GTI video, which was Operation... Shoot, what was that event? Operation Iron Fury. I found it. So Operation Iron Fury held at GTI, which was very much a drive south, a good 15 hours for us. We had a more reconnaissance base of objective for that event specifically. So we spent a lot of time not getting any type of action, just hours of relaying information of enemy team movement from one objective to the next, and being super sneaky and stealthy to the point where it would take us almost a full hour to try to get to the other side of the field in order to get to the next position that we needed to hold. That is not a good type of gameplay in order to showcase to an audience. I mean, even looking back at the footage, it's very slow going. And I think for me, that gameplay was actually the most fun. I had the most fun at that event playing the role, but it's very difficult to portray the atmosphere and environment of what took place. It's very hard to portray the ambient temperature, the cold dew on the forearm as you're crawling through grass. It's hard to portray that scent of pine as you're laying close to a fallen log, or the feeling of a helicopter blade as it creates downward pressure over your body as it's trying to hunt you in the woods. Those are all things that I can't show or be able to relay to an audience through a phone screen. And for me, that it's kind of the that sense, those 5 senses are very critical to that moment. And again, I thought that reconnaissance gameplay at Iron Fury was the most fun, and I enjoyed it the most. But it's hard to relay how fun it was and trying to relay that atmosphere to you guys. So I'm still working on it, but maybe take those hyped gameplay videos maybe with a little bit more grain of salt, because again, they're taking an 8 or 10 hour day and they're just funneling all of that extra stuff out to show a 6 to 15 minute video. So here we have my 416A5. It is a licensed product, so it looks hyper real. The point of this next tip is bag and case everything. Get yourself a gun bag, get yourself a gear bag, and get yourself an accessory bag. In some cases, like with mine, I have a big enough gear bag to where I can put my my plate carrier, my pants, my shirt, my helmet, my boots, all my magazines, all my batteries, chargers, my smoke grenades, my frag grenades, sometimes even my gun. If I'm running just the MP5, I can put that all into my really, really big bag. In the case of something like this, for your safety and for everyone else's safety, keep these airsoft guns out of public view. If you live in a city, that is much harder to do because you really want to go and shoot it in a backyard or in a public place. I cannot stress enough, please, please, please don't do that. Even if this had the orange tip and I was walking around, because people can walk around, and they do walk around covering the orange barrel, it looks like a real gun. So please, 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 put your guns in bags and cases, and people will still get nervous walking around and seeing people in tactical gear like this, because this actually is a brand and setup that real law enforcement officers will utilize. So in multiple cases where I have been to fields, people have mistaken me and this setup for law enforcement or security, despite the Airsoft sticker right here. So please be extra careful. I really don't want anything to happen to you guys. So just please, please, please be extra safe and extra careful. Mom would appreciate that. Next one, tip number 6, is going to be learn firearm safety, the 4 rules of firearm safety, and learn how to handle and move with your airsoft guns. So we always suggest for beginner-based players to get an M4 basic platform, just because there's the most amount of accessories. There's a lot of accessories for the M4 platform. Everyone is super familiar with them, so there's a lot of aftermarket videos and again accessories for M4 platforms. So everyone's super familiar with them. So learn, not just from myself, but from a plethora of people, how to hold and move with your airsoft guns like so. And don't even watch just like military movement videos. Also look at different branches of military. Look at different SWAT. Look at different professional firearm guys and how they move and how they suggest holding your airsoft guns. or just guns in general, because the same type of grip and angle and positioning is going to apply back and forth between real guns and airsoft guns. Now, there are going to be some cases where you don't need to be nearly as strict with your grip. For example, most of how I move is going to be more like army-based tactics and grips and positioning, or even some type of law enforcement stuff. That's kind of how I grew up looking at videos, but again, it doesn't really matter because we're just here to have fun. Anyway, so most guys are going to suggest putting that thumb over the top of the railing here in order to manage recoil. On airsoft guns, there's no recoil, so you don't really need to do that. So if you wanted to do a bottom grip like here, or grab onto the magwell, or if you wanted to, you could hold it way back here because there's no recoil. So you have a little bit more freedom in order to hold and position the gun related to you and your body and what you prefer. So I think that's cool. I think you have some good freedoms. And then basic firearm safety, like if you're not shooting, get that finger out of the trigger guard. So if you're not actively shooting, if you're just holding, and that was instinctive, if you're just holding a position here, your trigger doesn't need to be on, your trigger finger doesn't need to be on the trigger. If you're just up leaning against a wall and just holding the gun, don't put your trigger finger in the trigger guard. It should be out and about like so. Or even better yet, completely off the gun and holding the gun from a bottom grip here. If you're just leaning up against something and then just hanging out with the guys. Or better yet, just letting it dangle by some type of sling system, which I don't have attached here. And the reason for this is more than once, I would say almost every weekend that I go out, I see players next to me in buildings accidentally shoot the floor or the walls, or sometimes very close to their fellow airsoft players by accident, because their booger hook is getting too close to that bang switch, right? Booger hook, too close to that bang switch, which we do not want. Now it's airsoft. I get it's not going to kill anyone, and you're intentionally pointing what looks to be a real firearm at someone else, but that still doesn't mitigate or completely alleviate the responsibilities of firearm safety and being aware of those responsibilities. So please, please, please be safe. The next one is going to be, you don't need to build a team. Teams are great. There's a lot of team building, team exercises that you guys can do, and there's a great sense of camaraderie in having an airsoft team that you can then go as a group to your local field and kind of interact with the airsoft base. However, having been in teams, past tense, there comes a lot of drama and a lot of extra baggage if you guys are not totally 100% in cohesion. Things just naturally can go odd directions. Airsoft is a sport, and being that there are more freedoms to different types of play styles and different mentalities of tactics, more than once that has complicated relationships with other players. So my biggest suggestion is just go to have fun with friends. Don't try to make it a league, because paintball is based off of leagues and having teams in order to compete against each other. But the point of airsoft is not to compete. The point of airsoft is just to go out, have fun with the freedoms that we have within this country. So my biggest suggestion of this list is just don't form a team. Have fun, make friends, and let that be what it is. Number 8 is become extremely proficient with the equipment that you have available. And that means when you're beginning, know exactly where stuff is set up and how you want your stuff to be set up as. For all of my gear, and you can see off to the right of me, is several hangers of gear. That is not the entire collection of tactical gear that I have available to me, but for the most case, they are all standardized to the exact same setup as what I am wearing right here. A 3-mag pouch system, maybe some type of admin pouch, a radio carrier on the right-hand side, and then a grenade pouch on the left-hand side here. That's really the bare essentials that I need. And the reason why you want to become proficient is because you as a player shouldn't be restricted on the equipment that you don't have. For example, and I'm giving a lot of real world examples, I have, with this kit, played against other players, and being like a weekend play, I will take my radio out because I don't need a radio unless I go to a larger event where, you know, we have an entire wooded space, however many 20 or 30 square acreages, you know, a really big space. And sometimes there's facilities with winding corridors and multiple stories. So even though we can be within a really tight space, we can sometimes lose each other very often. So on weekend play, I won't have my radio, but I will keep this microphone, speaker, walkie thing here, maybe an earpiece attached, but just loose and out of my ear, because I've got it routed through the plate carrier and it's just troublesome to just try to reroute all of that out, versus the walkie-talkie or the radio just boop, boop, just pulls in and out with this this hard shell holster. So I've been against players and I have outmaneuvered them on the field, and they'll sometimes use excuses as to the equipment that I have available. One of them in particular being this walkie or this microphone. You know, player that I outmaneuvered going, oh, well, you had the advantage because you had intelligence or information from another player. And I'm like, no, because it's not plugged in. How am I supposed to get information when I don't have the radio and there's nothing that this is connected to? And yes, I agree, it is 100% frustrating to be on the losing end of those engagements. But, you know, shit just happens. It is what it is. It's Airsoft BBs, we're playing LARP, it's Call of Duty, you know, it's just, we're here for the sake of fun. So trying to get muddled down and trying to make excuses for yourself or for others isn't really a solution, or isn't a way of, you know, it's not a way of having fun, essentially. Just have fun for the sake of having fun and don't try to make it any more than what it is. The second to last piece of advice that I have is going to be, you can cheap out on the gear, but do not cheap out on your safety protection equipment. Your Eyepro, your Face Pro, maybe your Earpro if you're going to a larger event that allows those super loud grenades. Your boots. Boots are hyper critical when it comes to outdoor games or even indoor games. You know, indoor games, especially with the Airsoft arena, it is a marbled floor. And with all of the BBs that are down there on like a Sunday, if it's a super heavy weekend, yeah, there's going to be a lot of little ball bearings on that marble floor that is going to be a little bit more slippery in certain spots. So having proper equipment, maybe you need knee pads, get good gloves, stuff like that. The gear, like what I have, this is much nicer brand, LBX, and I keep purchasing it because it is so nice. It's very comfortable, great quality control, very, very high strength tolerances. So I'll spend a little bit more on my gear. But on the same side of things, this $30, $40 piece of admin equipment mag pouch, you could spend $10 and get an extremely similar thing that holds the same number of magazines and holds the same amount of space for whatever else you're putting inside of here. So cheap gear can be very frustrating to use. It can wear down very quickly. It can start pulling out the threads. But first and foremost, as a beginner, get the nicest eye safety protection you can get. And if you don't know why I'm stressing this, you can follow that card, that link up there, to a video where myself and Carl talked about eye protection, and we shot at different forms of eye protection, and we showed physically the same shit that we've been telling players for years. So go check that out. And last, and certainly not least, is just be chill. No matter if you're going to a pickup game, if you're going to a weekend game, if you're traveling for an event, if you're at some type of competition setting, just be chill. This is not life or death. We're here playing Airsoft for the sake of having fun, for the sake of having fun, looking cool and feeling cool. We're all playing dress up in the exact same space. Like, biggest thing is don't make arguments and don't try to call other people out. Just have fun. And that is it. If you guys have any further tips or tricks or suggestions that you have, being a experienced or older player yourself, put them down into the comments section below. These were my top 10. I would love to hear what you guys also suggest as well. In the 10 years of playing Airsoft, I am just full of different tips and tricks, very much overflowing with the tricks, but I limit it to just 10. So if you guys have any further, put them down in the comment section below. I'd like to see them. I hope to see you guys on Wednesday when Carl and I go and do our live streams. Thank you everyone for watching to the end of the video. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys please take care, stay safe, stay positive, and have a happy new year. I don't know why I keep doing this with my hands. But take care. Bye.